Hey everybody, we are live. Just excuse me, halfway through going live, I was like, oh, I'm going to change the position of the camera. So I'm going to put it on something else for a moment. All right, that's better. So it's going to go and share the link. So obviously if you're watching this later, that's enough. Just logging into Facebook. Da, 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 da. Post this in Patreon as well. Just posting in Patreon. Posted in Patreon. Oh, that's good stuff. Now in the Creating Family Manual Facebook group. Never check. Like obviously I'm not looking. I'm looking at the other. Just for one. Good. Okay, cool. Cool. Here we go. All right. Links are up. Delaying contractions. All right, welcome to the live stream, everybody. How are we all doing? Who have we got here today? Who is with us? Bartosz, yes. How you doing, bro? Ooh. Hey, hello. Winter in Cape Town, yeah, I bet. It's quite cold here in Australia at the moment too. But it's nice though. It's like a nice, like spring warm. Well, not warm, like cool. It's cool. That's what it is. Cool. Hey, Sachin is here. We're here from Chicago. I just did a little. I'm a bit sweaty. I just finished a little workout. Just patting down my face. That's what's going on. All right, so let's start. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of stretching. We're going to do a little bit of like pranayama, some breathing exercises. We're going to talk about some exercises that you can start to use and develop to delay contractions and the urge to breathe, but primarily contractions, because one of these techniques heightens the urge to breathe, but lessens the contractions. And then we're all going to do some static breath hold together, and I'm going to talk you through the exercise and coach you through the exercise so that we can implement these techniques on our static breath holds. Cool. So let's start with some standard like Adam style breathing exercises. Sorry, like breathing stretching. So we're going to do 2 minutes of stomach breathing to get the abdominals moving, get things flowing. Hey, good evening, Chloe. How you doing? Yeah, Chloe's like the only person from this part of the world, and it's evening. Oh no, Sachin's from this part of the world. What am I talking about? All right. So let's get our respiratory muscles moving. So let's start with our wonderful 2 minutes of just belly breathing, just breathing into the stomach, and just over the course of the 2 minutes, allowing the size of the breath you can take into your stomach to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Cool. All right, so let's do that now. I'll get my timer going so I can count out for you guys. So basically, as we're doing this, obviously, like while we're, you can watch me through part of it, but obviously through most of it, as if you just follow my voice, that will be more than enough. So you just follow my voice through the exercises. Okay, so 2 minutes of belly breathing, starting now. For anyone joining the live stream right now, we're just doing 2 minutes of belly breathing. Keep breathing, nice and slow. The focus when we're doing these breathing warm-ups is just on control, just making sure we have like a really good control of our abdominal section, making sure that when we are, inhaling deep into our stomach, that we're not like tensing different parts of the respiratory muscles unnecessarily or moving the chest at all. So it's just all about like every time before we start, just really having a strong control. So we've been breathing just into our abdominals for 1 minute. So we've got another minute to go. The other thing is that I think that just general breathing practice like this is it's underdone. Not enough people just sit around and really work on their respiratory control. And it makes a difference when you do this. It makes a difference to how comfortable you feel when you are taking your final breath, especially before like a PB dive. You've got 30 more seconds of breathing just into the stomach. Especially before a PB dive when you might be a little bit nervous or you might feel rushed and, you tend to revert back to whatever habits you normally revert to. So obviously we just want to ingrain really good habits for ourselves. So smile, okay? I'll pretend like I'm talking, right? I'm like, all right, guys, and that's been 2 minutes. 2 minutes of just breathing into our abdominals. So we're going to move now to the intercostals. So pushing our intercostals outwards as we're breathing. We'll do this for 2 minutes again. And 3, 2, 1. 2 minutes into the intercostals. Hey, Sono. Good stuff, guys. So we're going to continue this on for 2 minutes and 30 seconds now. So once again, when we do this, it's really about control. We are warming up these muscle groups, but I always like to have like a goal in mind when I'm doing any exercise because then it gives me something to work towards. So what we're working towards here as we're warming up our respiratory muscles is just making sure we have as much control as possible. So nice and deep, breathing deep into the intercostals, slow, controlled, and relaxed. We've been doing this for 1 minute now. Good. So for those who have just joined, before we get into our static breath holds today, I am going to be talking about some techniques which allow us to delay contractions and delay the urge to breathe. So we get that comfortable, nice period of time in the breath hold for longer. And these are like, these aren't airy-fairy techniques. There's very, it's just a simple like technique and it's a position that you put the body in. And so we'll go through that together very soon. All right, so it's been 1:30, so 30 more seconds of just warming up the intercostals. Good stuff, guys. And that's been 2 minutes. Good. So now we're going to go to our chest section. So just obviously breathing just into the chest, moving the chest forward as we inhale and then relaxing it back to neutral as we exhale, trying not to get tense in any part of the body as we're doing that. So let's start our 2 minutes again. And good. The chest is it's a really important section to work on because it is the final part of it's like the last stage of the final breath. And so many people they give themselves like little bits of tension in the chest or in the upper body when they get to the end of their final breath, either by like moving in a way that's stressful, like trying to force more air in, or just by like really reaching for that extra air. So I think like now is a really good time when we're working on our chest breath to to focus on exactly how much air can you get into that chest section without crossing the line into, okay, now I'm tense, or now I've lost a little bit of my relaxation, but got extra air. Because obviously we know that it's better to have the relaxation than the little bit of extra air. So just continuing breathing to our chest. We have 40 more seconds of doing this. Good stuff, guys. Nice and deep into the chest. Chest comes forward, chest doesn't come up. All right, and that's been 2 minutes. So now we're going to do 2 minutes of full breath. So now this is, once again, we can focus, especially on when we get to the end, exactly how much air we can get in and still maintain full relaxation. So let's begin 2 minutes now of deep full breath, stomach, intercostals, and chest as well. Good. First, we fill the stomach, and when the stomach is full, we just slowly roll on to the intercostals, and when the intercostals are full, we move up into the chest. And obviously, because the rest of the lungs are already full, or the lungs are mostly full, we won't be able to get a huge amount of air into the chest, but that's okay. We don't need to. We've already got it in there. One of the fun things, I think, is that because we call this like the stomach section, the intercostal section, the chest section, I think it gives us the impression that there are different sections to the lungs, but it's obviously just, different muscle groups we can expand outwardly to inflate the lung, the lungs. So we got 30 more seconds of doing full breaths, stomach, intercostals, and chest. Stomach, intercostals, and chest. Good, guys. Very nice. You might be able to hear Ellie having her dinner in the background. You're hearing dang, 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 dang. All right, it's been 2 minutes. Okay, the next thing we're going to move to is a little bit of diaphragm stretching, stomach vacuums. So we want to make sure that our we want to do a few of these, because if we start to get this area moving a little bit more, it means when we start to have contractions, we have less resistance in the movement of the contractions. So the contractions tend to feel more comfortable. So we'll do the first one where we just do a passive exhale, fold forward, and then suck the stomach in, and then we'll go on from there. So passive exhale, we can do sitting or standing. Good. Now the next one we're going to do a passive exhale, and then we're going to give a very small little push afterwards. We're not going to go down to RV or to our residual volume. We're not going to push hard, get everything out. Just a small little forced exhale at the end of our passive exhale to increase the stretch. You always want to be really careful with this stretch because it's an internal muscle. Most people tend to not have a very high awareness of their diaphragm muscle, and I know a few people who have torn or stretched or had issues with their diaphragm. And it's a very nasty injury to have, a very long-term injury too. So just always be really gentle with it. Try not to doing like stretches or jagged movements when you're doing this stretch as well. Good. We're going to do this one more time. And we're going to do a slightly bigger forced exhale. Now, when we do this on the last time, what we're going to do is we're going to take our rib cage and we're going to push it inward. We're never going to pull outward, because if we pull outward, then we are further stretching the diaphragm in a way that's not going to be great for us. But by pushing it inward, we don't increase the pressure that we're placing on that muscle dramatically. And it's good to get the rib cage moving as well, once again, to not have such a bad time when we're having contractions. So passive exhale, slightly stronger forced exhale at the end, but not going down to like Arvin or like crunching down and getting rid of everything. And then we're going to hold it and push down on our rib cage together. All right? Good. So make sure you're pushing gently when you do that too. So don't push down really hard on the rib cage, because there's not going to be any gain from smashing the rib cage. This is all about just increasing the mobility of these muscles for the next exercise, not about getting long-term crazy flexibility that we're not going to need for freediving or for life either. All right. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do now, as the weeks go on, I'm going to be throwing in to these, especially to the static. Okay, so let me start this little section again with different exercises. Because, like, for example, with apnea walks, we have more going on. Or like with a dive, we have more going on. It's harder to to develop really good empirical data for what works and what doesn't work. But with static breath hold, because there's very little going on, just you laying there holding your breath, it's a really good way for us to also test things like which warm-ups lead to the best results, which techniques lead to the best results, because there's only really going to be two things we're playing with. When did I get my urge to breathe? When did I start breathing? So over the next few weeks with the static breath holds, I'm going to just introduce different types of warm-ups or different exercises here and there. And once again, my goal is never to craft or create a certain type of diver. Like my goal is always to just put as many tools in everybody's toolbox and let them decide which ones worked for them or which ones they liked. So I'm basically just encouraging you to pick and choose the different warm-ups that worked for you, that you enjoyed doing, and then incorporate those into your repertoire. So but for now, yeah, I'm just going to, just like I said, just throw in different little bits and bobs here and there, just for us to feel out. So today we're going to be doing square breathing. So it's going to be a 5-second inhale, then a 5-second hold, a 5-second exhale, and then a 5-second hold, round and round and round and round and round. And we'll do it for 3 minutes, and we'll just see if that's comfortable. And obviously, if you're not comfortable doing it, you breathe at any point in time. So get yourself sitting or laying somewhere nice and comfortable. And I'm just going to start counting the square breathing. Okay. So we're going to be going in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was meant to be a hold. 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe normally, guys. Breathe normally. All right. Good. That was really good. So let's now talk about the techniques that we're going to use to delay the contractions and the urge to breathe. So there are two techniques. I'm going to refer to them as like our stage 1 technique. Hey, hey, Chris. So I'm going to refer to this as our stage 1 technique and our stage 2 technique. The stage 1 technique. Sorry, I'm just getting a question from Chris, guys. So Chris is asking, should we be doing that through our nose or mouth, or it doesn't really matter? It doesn't really matter. The nose is probably best because, you know, we breathe through the nose mostly, so your mouth won't get dry. But for the sake of like our purposes, I don't think it really matters. And if the 5 seconds was too long, then you shorten it. You do it in rounds of 4, or if the 5 seconds wasn't long enough, you do it in 6 or 7, or you just adjust the exercise to you. Okay, so stage 1 of the technique and then stage 2 of the technique. Stage 1 of the technique is something that we use to when we feel the contractions, or sorry, when we feel like the urge to breathe and the contractions start to begin. It's a way that we can postpone them from even coming on. Stage 2 of the technique is when we are experiencing contractions and the urge to breathe, how we can actually just stop them. So now when I say stop them, I mean stop the contractions, not the urge to breathe. But doing this gives you a really great sense of control of contractions, and it makes a person feel really good as they're experiencing the urge to breathe and contractions. So that's what these two separate things are. So stage 1 is a technique of, yeah, of course, it's a technique of relaxing the abdominals and the diaphragm and contracting the abdominals and diaphragm in a specific way to push away effectively the contractions or the urge to breathe. And then stage 2 is the tongue block technique. So I just got a comment in. So Bartosz says nose is for breathing, mouth is for talking. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So stage one of the technique, what we're going to be doing now is, as we're going through the static breath holds, I'm going to remind you, like, hey guys, like, if those to breathe is coming, remember to start using the first technique. So stage one, what we're going to do is this. When you feel that the contractions or the urge to breathe are beginning, when they're first coming on, you get that slightly strange feeling right here in the upper stomach and the slight urge to breathe. When that feeling is coming, what we're going to do is we're going to put our tongue in a T position, and then we're going to not move our throat at all. So tongue T position, throat stays totally immobile, and our mind goes down to our diaphragm muscle. Diaphragm muscle just on the underside of our ribcage here, and we're going to do two different things. We're going to aim to relax it, like and we relax it by focusing on relaxing the abdominal wall in front of it. So by focusing on relaxing the abdominal wall, which we all have good control over, like especially the upper abdominals here, keeping it really relaxed and disengaged. We'll relax the diaphragm behind it, or there's a good chance we'll be relaxing the diaphragm behind it. And we move back and forth between these, and you're gonna feel out when to do this. So this is I suppose like the intuitive part of this technique. So, or you're going to keep a slight tension there. So the contractions are coming on, they're just beginning, and you're going to say, okay, tongue in the T position, relax the throat, and then focus on, okay, for now I'm relaxing the abdominal wall, and now I keep a slight tension there. Now I'm relaxing the abdominal wall, and now I keep a slight tension there. You're going to move back and forth between those two things. And what's going to happen is you're going to find the position for your diaphragm and for your stomach. I'm not going to tell you which one it is because I want you to discover this yourself, because it's much better for you to discover this for yourself rather than me just going do this. So that's what you're going to do. And then when you move on to when the contractions are actually coming in and they've begun, you're going to move on to stage two, which is the tongue block technique. Now, when the contractions are beginning and you want them to stop, what you do is you keep your tongue in the T position and you lift the larynx up slightly, not a whole lot, just slightly, so that you squash part of the tongue against the roof of the mouth. So, and then not high enough to like equalize or anything like that, but just lift it slightly. And then as it's going on, you're going to move back and forth, like I said before, with the first technique, relax the stomach, relax the stomach, relax the stomach, and then tense the stomach slightly, tense the stomach slightly, tense the stomach slightly. And once again, you're going to feel the positioning for which one actually stops the contractions from happening. Now, when you're using that technique, when you are when you're like using the tongue block, you will feel a very sharp increase in the actual urge to breathe, even though the contractions will stop. And then obviously you'll get to a point in time like, oh man, the urge to breathe is too bad. I gotta let this go, and you'll let a contraction roll through. But when the contraction rolls through, it feels really good. So you'll enjoy it. All right. So we are going to do 6 static breath holds tonight. We're going to do so we're going to go on our sort of set departure times like we usually do, because it's all, obviously if we're doing this in a group, it's the best way to manage this, because I won't know when you've started to breathe, so I won't know like exactly how much recovery to give you. So we're going to start. The first 2 breath holds are going to be in intervals of 4 minutes. The second 2 are going to be intervals of 5 minutes, and the last 2 are going to be intervals of 6 minutes. And we're just going to sort of see how we go. Now, for each breath hold, there's also going to be a goal for when the contractions begin. So keep in mind, what we're working on here is extending the contractions by using the relaxation in the stomach, the tongue in the T position, the relaxed throat, to extend the period of time before the contractions begin. And then we'll be using the tongue block technique during the contractions to stop them from happening. For every breath hold, we're going to have a goal for the amount of contractions we're going to have. Now, I don't usually do this. I don't usually say, okay, we're going to have 10 contractions. We're going to have 20 contractions. We're going to have 5 contractions. But once again, we are just simply trying things, and you're going to see what works best for you. Some people really like counting the contractions and just sort of being like, oh yeah, cool. Well, I'm just going to have 10 contractions, or I'm going to have 20 contractions, or 50 contractions, whatever you want, right? So we're going to start by for the first one, just by having 5 contractions, and then we'll increase it for every breath hold from there. So I'll just let you know as we're going through. All right. So guys, now is when you get yourself into a comfortable laying position, and I'm basically just going to coach you through these next few breath holds, these next 6 breath holds. So first 2 intervals of 4 minutes. If you have a nose clip, put your nose clip on. Otherwise, do it with a mask or do it without anything. Okay. And we are having now 2 minutes to breathe. As long as you can hear my voice, that's all you're going to need for this exercise. 2 minutes to breathe. We're breathing nice, slow, relaxed, tidal breathing. Now, eventually, as these breath holds go on, we are going to, so just continue breathing as I talk. We are going to incorporate some hyperventilation breaths into our preparation. But for the first breath hold, we really don't want to do that. We actually want to get an earlier urge to breathe so that we can experience higher CO2, because it will kick in our dive reflex stronger and earlier. So it's a good thing to do our just pure tidal breathing for the first breath hold as a part of our warm-up. So, all right, guys, that's been almost 1 minute now of breathing. So only tidal breathing, no hyperventilation at all. 1 minute, relaxing, focusing on our physical relaxation, getting our mind ready for whatever journey we want to take it on. Maybe we like to sing songs to ourselves. Maybe we like to do a long, slow body scan. Maybe we like to do a visualization where we take ourselves to some beautiful place that's not our house, where we are locked up. All right. 30 seconds until the first one. Only tidal breathing. That's all we're doing here. 20 seconds. We're not doing any purge breaths at all. No big full breath before the last one. 10 seconds. And getting ready for our final breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And deep breath, full breath, as full as you can inhale without losing your relaxation, and then hold. Good. If you do want to follow me through a little body scan, you can do that as well. We're going to send our mind down to our feet and make sure our feet are totally loose, disengaged, and just falling into the floor. Our ankles, they feel heavy. They fall into the floor. And so does our Achilles tendon, and our calves, and our whole bottom half of the leg below the knee. It's very heavy, and it just sinks and falls into the floor. Our knee is heavy as well. It's loose and disengaged, and it just sinks down into the floor. Let's just remind ourselves of what we're going to do when we feel any inkling of the urge to breathe. We're going to put our tongue in the T position. We're going to relax the throat, and we're going to alternate between keeping a super relaxed, disengaged stomach and diaphragm, and 3 or 4 seconds later, having a slight tension in the abdominal wall in the stomach, and then holding that for a few seconds, and then moving back to the first one, back and forth, back and forth. And our legs, our thighs, as we move our mind up our body, are also incredibly heavy. It just sinks into the floor. Everything from the waist down is just heavy, loose, disengaged. And it just sinks into the floor. And all we're going to do for this first one is count 5 contractions, and then we are going to breathe again. All right? That's been 2 minutes already. So we're going in 4-minute intervals. So we have 2 minutes to breathe before the next one. Good. For the next one, you'll be getting the times all the way through. I'm going to be starting at 1 minute, and then 1:30, and then 2 minutes. This first one, I just wanted to let you feel things without knowing what the time was. All right. That's 2 minutes 30. If we are having contractions, remember, we shift from the first part of the technique to then the tongue block, where we lift the larynx up slightly and we press the tongue against the roof of the mouth, and we keep either a relaxation or a slight tension moving back and forward between those two. See which is going to stop the contractions best for us. All right. It's been 3 minutes now, which means we have 1 minute to breathe before the next breath hold begins. We're tidal breathing now, relaxed, slow, shallow. When I say 30 seconds, we're going to take 3 deep breaths, about 80% of full, not totally full, but about 80%. 1, 2, 3, and then our final breath. Still tidal breathing right now. All right, and that's 30 seconds. Let's start our first inhale. Twenty seconds. 10 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full final breath. And we begin our breath hold again. And we are focused on a physical relaxation. We're focused on keeping our body as disengaged, as relaxed as possible. Let your mind go where it wants to go. Good work, guys. That's been 1 minute already. So we remember, we're going to, if the urge to breathe begins, we feel it coming on, we push it away, and then once it's come, we use the tongue block technique to control our contractions. Have contractions when we want to, and then push them away when we don't want to. For this breath hold, we're going to just relax and experience 10 contractions. 10 contractions, and then we start breathing again. When the first one starts, you just count that, and then count every contraction that follows. It's been 1 minute 30. Good. When we're doing the tongue block technique, remember that we lift the larynx up and press the tongue against the roof of the mouth as we alternate between relaxation in the abdominals and slight tension in the abdominals. It's been 2 minutes already. So the next interval will be 5 minutes, keep in mind. So we have 3 minutes now to breathe before the next one. Counting until 10 contractions. That's 2 minutes 30. Two minutes 45. Once you can control the contractions, the truth is that you can decide how many contractions you're going to have. You can say, oh, I'm going to let them all roll through and I'll have many, or I'm going to keep control over this and I'll space them out really far. That's been 3 minutes. So if you are breathing, you have 2 minutes to breathe before the next breath hold. And if you are still going, then well done. All right, good. So if we're breathing, we're shifting back into our tidal breathing. So just our relaxed, passive preparation breathing. Obviously, we'll do our recovery breathing until we feel like we've recovered, and blown out some excess CO2, and then we are just tidal breathing. It's been 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so we have 1.5 minutes to breathe before the next breath hold. For this next breath hold, we're going to once again have 10 contractions. We won't increase the contraction number until towards the end. What we're going to see here is that just as we warm up, we'll go for a longer period of time before we get the contractions, and then obviously having more experience with these techniques, you're going to, that's been 4 minutes, so 1 minute to breathe before the next breath hold begins. You're going to have more control, and you'll be able to delay them and to space them out further. So, having 10 contractions could take you quite a long time if you so choose. All right. So when I say 30 seconds again, we're going to take our 3 deeper hyperventilation breaths and then start again, holding until we have 10 contractions. All right, and 30 seconds. 20. 10 seconds, taking our last hyperventilation breath. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, taking our final breath. As much as we can, as deep an inhale as we can manage without losing our relaxation. Stomach, intercostals, chest, and then we just totally relax. And after you finish your final breath, let's take our mind down to our abdominal wall and make sure that our abdominal wall, after taking a huge inhale, is completely relaxed. The abdominals are completely relaxed. The diaphragm behind and underneath it is completely relaxed and disengaged. When the abdominals are relaxed, they'll pop out just a little bit. Now let's take our mind to our chest and make sure our chest too is just totally disengaged and relaxed, and our shoulders and our neck too, that we're not holding on to any tension from the final breath itself. So keeping in mind, we're going to just be holding until 10 contractions for this one. That's all we're doing. All right, that's been 1 minute, 1 minute already. We have 2 stages to our contraction, delaying or postponing techniques. The first is when we stop the urge to breathe and contractions entirely by pushing them away with the position of our tongue, the position of our throat, the relaxation of our throat, and the way that we are moving our abdominals. That's been 1 minute 30. And then once the contractions begin, which they inevitably will, we can control how often we have them by using the tongue block technique, so that we lift up the larynx, press the tongue against the roof of the mouth, and continue alternating between tension and relaxation in the abdominal wall and the diaphragm. Good. That's been 2 minutes already. 2 minutes. Keep in mind that we have 3 more breath holds to go after this one. We're aiming to build up to a larger breath hold towards the end. We're not aiming to smash it out really early. If we are having the urge to breathe, we're focused on controlling the contractions. If the urge to breathe hasn't begun yet, we are focused on postponing it through relaxation and then with our technique. That's been 2 minutes 30 already. Doing really, really well. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now that's 2 minutes and 45 seconds. We're just counting 10 contractions, and then we're breathing again. And that's 3 minutes now. 3 minutes, which means we have 2 minutes to breathe before the next one begins if we are breathing. Otherwise, we're just rolling on, controlling our contractions until we have 10 of them. It's been 3 minutes 15. 3 minutes 30, which means that if we're breathing, we have 1 minute 30 to breathe before the next one begins. Three minutes 45. And that's 4 minutes, which means we have 1 minute to breathe before the next one. 1 minute to breathe. We're going to start our hyperventilation a little bit earlier now. So I'm going to say, let's begin our hyperventilation now. When we have 40 seconds left, we can do 4 this time. Good. Next one. 20 seconds till the next breath hold. This time we're going to hold for 15 contractions. Last hyperventilation. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final breath. Full, full, full. And immediately after our final breath, we take our mind straight down to our abdominal wall and we totally relax our abdominals. We totally relax our diaphragm. Keeping tension in the abdominals and the diaphragm will bring on an earlier urge to breathe. Once our diaphragm and our abdominals are totally relaxed, we move our mind up to our chest and we make sure our chest, especially right there in the middle of our chest, is relaxed and disengaged. And then we move our mind to our shoulders to make sure our shoulders are totally relaxed and disengaged. And then our mind moves to our neck, the back of our neck first. And make sure there's no tension at all in the back of the neck. Good. And that's 1 minute already. We're going to move our mind now to the front of our neck, to our throat, all the muscles in our throat, and just relax them totally. Totally relax the throat. Remember our techniques that we're using for when the urge to breathe begins and when we're having the contractions. We're going to be holding our breath now until we have 15 contractions. That's been 1 minute 30 already. And we're going to go in 6-minute intervals now, so we have plenty of time to breathe before the next one. While we're here, let's make sure the muscles in our face are also relaxed. I find personally that the muscles in a person's face can easily become engaged or tense without them really realizing it. Good. That's been 2 minutes already. When we feel the beginning of that urge to breathe come on, we put our tongue in the T position. We keep our larynx, or our throat, completely disengaged and relaxed. And we alternate between total disengaged relaxation in the diaphragm and the stomach to a little bit of tension in the diaphragm and the stomach, holding each position for about 3 to 4 seconds and then swapping back and forward. That's been 2 minutes and 30 seconds already. And then if we are having contractions, we then press the tongue up against the roof of the mouth, lift the larynx slightly, and then continue alternating in the abdominals until you find exactly which movement is going to stop the contractions from rolling through. Good. And we are coming up to 3 minutes now. That's been 3 minutes, which gives us 3 minutes to breathe before the next breath hold. We're going to do a little bit more hyperventilating for the next breath hold, the next 2 breath holds. In fact, for the last 60 seconds, we're going to take 6 nice deep hyperventilation breaths. Good. That has been 3 minutes 30 now. If you're holding your breath, control the contractions, relax, control the contractions. Decide when you have the contractions, decide when you let the urge to breathe build up. That's been 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And then decide when you let the urge to breathe go by having a contraction. That has been 4 minutes, which gives us 2 minutes to breathe before the next breath hold if we have started breathing already. 2 more breath holds to go. For the next 2 breath holds, we're going to have 20 contractions. On the last breath hold, if you want to have more than 20 contractions, feel free to do so, but the requirement or all you need to do is 20. It's been 4 minutes and 25 seconds if you're still going. Now, when we hit that 1 minute mark, that 1 minute to go, we're going to begin our hyperventilation breaths, which means we'll have time to take about 6 of them. It's been 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We're just relaxing, tidal breathing if we're breathing. And that's been 5 minutes. We have 1 minute to breathe. So let's begin our hyperventilation breaths. 80% inhale. And just let it go. 80% inhale. Let it go. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds, getting ready for our final breath. We're going to have 20 contractions this time. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Final breath. As full as you can get without losing your relaxation. And then, once we've taken the final breath, we move the mind immediately down to the abdominal wall. Is the abdominal wall completely disengaged and relaxed? Is the diaphragm behind it, below it, is it disengaged and relaxed? Is my stomach popping out a little bit because it's all so loose? And then we move the mind up to the chest. Is my chest relaxed? Are all the muscles, joints in my chest, are they disengaged and loose and relaxed? Good. And then the mind moves to the shoulders. The shoulders relaxed. Have they let go of all the tension that they might have built up during the final breath? Good work. And that's been 1 minute already. Now, is the back of my neck relaxed? Have I maintained total relaxation in the back of my neck? And if so, what about the front of my neck? Is the front of my neck totally disengaged and relaxed? And if so, what about the muscles in my face? Are my face muscles all totally loose, slack, disengaged? That's been 1 minute and 30 seconds. And that's been 2 minutes now. If the contractions or the urge to breathe is beginning to come, push it away. Place our stomach and our diaphragm in the position to postpone them, to make it so they don't begin. And that's been 2 minutes and 30 seconds already. If we are having an urge to breathe, we're using the tongue block technique to stop them. We can't stop them forever, or we don't want to stop them forever, because it will make the urge to breathe increase. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And so we let the urge to breathe build up, and then we relax the tongue block, let a contraction roll through, and get that relief, that release. That's been 3 minutes. We're having 20 contractions, and we breathe again. And then after we've had that release from letting the tongue block go, we put the tongue block back into position and we postpone or stop the next contraction. Round and round and round. 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And that's 3 minutes and 30 seconds. If you are breathing, you now have 2 minutes and 20 seconds to breathe before the next one begins. That's 3 minutes 45. Just begin your tidal breathing, and we'll take our hyperventilation breaths when we have 1 minute left. Good. That has been 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We're just having 20 contractions, and then we're breathing again. That's been 4:15. 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Four minutes 30. Doing really, really well. We have 1 minute 30 to breathe before the next breath hold. So if we're breathing now, we're just tidal breathing. Relaxed, shallow, passive. This will be our final breath hold. And there's 1 minute to breathe. So start our first hyperventilation breath. Let it go passively. Don't force it out. And the next one. This will be our last breath hold. We're going to have 20 contractions. After that, if you want to continue, but all we need to do is have 20 contractions. Count them out. 30 seconds. Taking our hyperventilation breaths now. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Let's get ready for that final breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Full as you can without losing your relaxation. And after we've taken our final breath, once again, the mind moves immediately down to the stomach. After that full breath, is my stomach totally relaxed? Have I totally disengaged everything down there? And once that's relaxed, we move our mind to our rib cage. Is the rib cage totally disengaged? Is it totally relaxed? Good. And once that's relaxed, we move the mind up to the chest. Is my chest totally relaxed? Have I disengaged it? And then we move to the shoulders. Are my shoulders totally disengaged? Are they totally relaxed? Have I held any tension from that final breath, or have I let it all go? Good. That's been 1 minute already. And now, what about the back of my neck? Is there any tension in the back of my neck, or have I disengaged it entirely after that final breath? And then my mind moves to the front of my neck, the front where my throat is. Have I disengaged all those muscles? Whoa, let everything go, everything in the neck, everything in the throat. totally disengaged. And that's already been 1 minute and 30 seconds. And now the face. Are all the muscles in the face totally disengaged? Are they totally relaxed? Are they totally loose? Good. Everything disengaged, everything relaxed, everything loose. And that's been 2 minutes already. 2 minutes. Very good. We are postponing that urge to breathe with our relaxation and with our postponing technique. Tongue in the T position, the throat relaxed and disengaged, alternating back and forward between total relaxation in the abdominal wall and the diaphragm and slight tension. Unless you have, that's been 2 minutes and 30 seconds, unless you have found that sweet spot which actually postpones them, then you just move straight to the sweet spot and hold it. We're having 20 contractions. That's been 2 minutes and 45 seconds. 20 contractions. If you want to have more, otherwise 20 is all we need. That's been 3 minutes already. Fantastic. If we are having contractions, we can totally control those contractions with the tongue block technique. We decide how fast we have them. We decide how often we have them. We decide the intensity of the urge to breathe. That's been 3 minutes and 20 seconds now. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Three minutes and 45 seconds. If we do end up going beyond the 20 contraction mark, count the contractions, and that will give you an idea of how many contractions you can have until you get to whatever length of breath hold you reach. That's been 4 minutes now. 4 minutes. Keeping everything relaxed, making sure that we don't allow the urge to breathe or the contractions to let us tense up our body, tense up our shoulders, or tense up our neck. That's been 4 minutes 15. If we can't experience the contractions or the urge to breathe and maintain the relaxation, then we just start breathing. We never go beyond the point of total relaxation. That's been 4 minutes 30. Good. Everything disengaged, everything relaxed. That's 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Now, if we are still holding our breath at this point, now is when we're going to open our eyes. We open our eyes so that if we see our vision caving in, we know that we are well and truly hypoxic and it's time to breathe. It's been 5 minutes now. We're staying in control. We're controlling our contractions with the tongue block. We are totally relaxed because the urge to breathe and the contractions does not tense our body up. It doesn't affect us in a negative way. It's been 5 minutes and 15 seconds. We're still holding our breath. Our eyes are open. We're staying alert, and we are controlling our contractions, controlling them with the tongue block technique and our relaxation. 5 minutes 30. Paying attention to how we're feeling now. Paying attention to our hearing to make sure everything sounds normal. Paying attention to our vision to make sure our vision is still there. 5 minutes and 45 seconds. If we are still holding our breath, we're going to start to breathe again at 6 minutes. And that is going to be in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, breathe. Good. Woo! All right, guys. That is the end of the workout. So how do we all go? Did we manage to control our contractions? Did we manage to control our urge to breathe? Did we manage to postpone the contractions or the urge to breathe? I'm seeing here 2 messages came in. Hanno says, PB static for me, 4 minutes and 3 seconds. Everyone, congratulations, Hanno. And Egocentrism says, that was my first breath hold over 4 minutes. So another PB breath hold after over 4 minutes. So big claps to you as well. Very good stuff. How else, how did you guys go? Bartosz is writing something serious. He goes, listen to this, and then he hasn't written anything else. I'm expecting something magic coming through. Bartosz, from 4 minutes from last Tuesday to 5 minutes today. So that's a PB increase of 1 minute. I would say, Bartosz, that's a very substantial increase. Bartosz, for you, having such a huge jump, I would keep your max breath holds to no more than 5 minutes for the next few weeks before you really go again. So next time, if you're doing another exercise and you're feeling really good and you're holding your breath and we're doing static and you're like, oh my God, I can go past 5 minutes, stop yourself at the 5 minute mark, just to really consolidate and make sure the sensations stay really good. Sono says 3:30 for the first time and still felt not bad. Hey, fantastic. That's really, really good. Really, really good. 3:30. Sono, is 3:30 a personal best for you? How else did we all go? I got 19 people still here, 18. I would like to hear, what I want to hear back from you guys, I suppose, is feedback on the techniques in which we can delay the contractions like that. Brandon says new PB of 6 minutes. That is amazing. Good work, Brandon. I'm going to take a photo of that. I'm going to take a photo of the thing, and then I can do some Instagram stories. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Fantastic. Okay, so now looking at the next one. So the next PB. Hey, fantastic. So guys, we have a lot of PBs. Brandon says up from 5:05. That's solid, man. That's very solid. Cool. All right, guys. Any feedback on how you felt with the tongue block, or how you felt with postponing the urge to breathe, or the contractions? Is it something you want to stick with, or did you find it to be not super helpful? May we now breathe, please? Now, yes, now you may breathe. Oh, fantastic. What do you, any thoughts or feedback on that? Should we continue with those exercises? Is it something you want me to keep building upon and going over again and again? Or did you feel like there wasn't much value to it, or you couldn't quite grasp it and you'd like me to go back to square one? Relaxing the diaphragm is great. Yes, totally. Relaxing the diaphragm definitely postpones the contractions from coming on. I'm just reading the messages. Oh, cool. Ooh, all right. Well, guys, very, very good work. I think we all did an amazing job. Well, I think that's it. Unless anyone has any quick questions for me, I'm going to go and have some dinner, put Ellie to bed, and have a wonderful little night. Oh, here we go. Yes, please. That was awesome. Walking us through the tongue position and reminding us to do it was great. Okay, cool, fantastic. I was hoping that would be the case. I was really hoping that reminding you all the time and keeping you like your heads there would make you, I suppose, like, do it, and then you'd feel the effects of it, the benefits of it, and have amazing breath holds. Cool. So I will see you all on Wednesday. And we will do, on Wednesday, we'll be doing more like apnea walk style. So it'll be like more like a dynamic workout, and we'll roll on from there. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon. And I'll see you on Wednesday. If you have any other questions or any insights or whatever, write them in Patreon in the post, or write them as a comment in the post in the Facebook group. And have a fantastic time. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I really enjoyed this. This is a really cool thing to do.